on the side of the road, talking all these tunes. Vanessa over the west coast, Lord talking tunes with these few goons. With these few goons.
Welcome to Talking Tunes with these few goons. I'm Alex Kramer, and my co-hosts for this musical adventure are Matthew Grant.
What's up?
And Vanessa St. Clair.
Hello. We are just three friends talking about music, learning about music one album at a time. And I don't know if you can guess who we're talking about today, but it's zippity-boo, zippity-boo. That was the worst. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
It was terrible, but it was amazing.
It was
Okay.
So,
I want you to introduce the album, Alex, because you chose it, and we'll get into why you chose it, because I'm very curious. But
yes, the album we are talking about today is from the legendary, the man, the myth, Bob Dylan, in his 1975 masterpiece, Blood on the Tracks. Well, before we get started, here's our fun little segment of things you can read on Wikipedia. Blood on the Tracks is the 15th studio album by Bob Dylan, a.k.a. Robert Zimmerman. I thought his name was Bob Dylan too, so, don't feel like you're the only one. It was released on January 20th, 1975 by Columbia Records. This album marked a return to Columbia Records after a 2-album stint with Asylum Records. Dylan began recording the album in New York City in September of 1974, and then in December, shortly before Columbia was due to release the album, based off some advice his brother told him, he decided to re-record the album in Minneapolis. The album contains 5 tracks recorded in New York and 5 from Minneapolis. And this album is a bit of a big milestone for Mr. Dylan, because during that time, he did not have albums that were like Highway 61 or Blonde on Blonde level. He released albums since then. He had that big motorcycle accident in 1966, in June of 1966, I believe. He became kind of recluse. He didn't really want to do much, but he did release albums, but they weren't fantastic. And so this was a big step for him. And he didn't do like a whole Highway 61, let me go full electric, but this shows kind of more of his acoustic side. And there's a lot to be said about this album, but the reason why I picked this album is because, one, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's 10 tracks, and there's just a personal beauty to it. I can just tell that he denies it. This is a big thing about this album. A lot of people think this is a breakup album, and he's denied it in so many interviews. He's said, why do people make that assumption before talking to me first? It's not like that. And then his brother, not his brother, oh my God, his son, Jacob Dylan, that'd be a whole thing for therapy. But his son, Jacob Dylan, singer of the Wallflowers, was asked, what do you get when you listen to your father's music? And he says, when I listen to something like Bring It All Back Home, I'm cruising just like you do. But when I listen to an album like Blood on the Tracks, I hear my parents talking. Mm-hmm. And then the guy who asked him, I think it was his manager, he was like, okay, that's all I need to know.
Right. For me, this album seems like half a breakup album and half a love album. I feel like this album is about 2 separate women. At least that's what I interpreted from it.
Women can have more than one side, Matt. We are multifaceted individuals.
Right.
I don't know about. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I don't, but I think that the first side of the album, the A side, if you will, is about this bitter, sort of sad breakup he had, and then side B is about kind of him getting over it and moving on from it. That's what I interpreted from it. What do you think, Vanessa?
So I read also on Wikipedia that he was having marital troubles at the time, but it doesn't say if they were like if they got divorced or anything. It just says that they were estranged. So to me, I interpreted, and I'll talk specifically about which song I feel this way about, but overall, like when it hits me, the album, because I listened to it 3 times. Like the first time I was just sort of like getting the vibe of it, and then the second time I was listening to lyrics, and then the third time I was just like letting it like happen to me. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, totally.
And so the third time I listened to it, it really it hit me because it seemed like he was sort of okay that things were happening the way that they were happening. Like he wasn't upset that things were going south. He kind of just expected it, but he would still hold that person in his heart. Mm-hmm. Like he would still love her, but he just, it's like, oh no, I don't want to say my notes about the songs yet, but
yeah.
Well, let's get into it. Let's start with Tangled Up in Blue.
Mm-hmm. Matt has a lot of feelings.
This is my favorite Dylan song ever.
What?
Wow.
What?
I was shocked when you told me that a while ago.
That is so disturbing. How is this your favorite song?
By him.
It's ultimately a song about a man who was heartbroken by a breakup, so he decided to travel to try and heal himself. But then he reconnected with his love, that old love. But then, like, that was the life then he was used to, was traveling, and realized that, like, this love was not really what he wanted. But he also, he says a very interesting lyric towards the end of the song, where he's like, so now I'm going back to her. I got to get to her somehow. All the people we used to know, they're an illusion to me now. So, like, it's like he has the woman, but, like, he has to keep searching for this woman. So really, he loved the idea of this woman more than the woman. And that was just a beauty. I just love the acoustic guitars and just like the pain in his voice. And I remember reading a quote somewhere that like it took him living several lifetimes to be able to write this song, which I thought was also interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, this was the song, like, this is the thing I appreciate about this whole album is it's so personal, but yet the music is so contained. He doesn't need, like, a big band, loud music. He can convey the emotion in the lyrics, but also in the music he's providing. Look at that, I'm making a ball of an analogy.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I feel like there is something to the way that it's so underproduced. I mean, why I was curious to hear why you picked this album is because at the time it was not good. Like, people did not like it. And
it got mixed reviews.
In the years since, people were like, oh, this is classic Dylan. But at the time, people were really just crapping on it. And I can kind of see why, and not no, listen. It's not that I don't like it, but I'm saying I understand from like a producing standpoint, it seems very bare bones. It's like, did they just hook up a mic in the middle of the Minnesota woods and like put this man out there?
I think they recorded it in a studio.
What?
I think that's probably exactly what they did. You know,
they just took very bare bones way of doing it.
And I think that, like, you know, because like he had to because he decided to re-record it, he probably had to do it quickly. Yeah. So like, you know, so he probably just didn't like want to mess around too much.
For my notes for Tangled Up in Blue, let me just say this and then we can move on. I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable, but after listening to the whole album, definitely not my favorite. Like, definitely not even close to being my favorite on the album. Yeah. In fact, I see it's towards the bottom. But I did like, there was a specific little guitar thing that he did right after the chorus, but like before the verses. And I really liked that. I just think that his guitar work was really beautiful and very sweet there. But that's all I really have to say about that.
All right, let's move on to Simple Twist of Fate.
Yeah, my personal favorite song on the album.
I love this song.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I like about it is because he didn't need a whole band. It was him and his bassist Tony, and I kind of like the story it tells. I mean, I get the impression, like some people have said, this is about a guy having one night with a prostitute, because you kind of listen to the lyrics of, like, he went back to what's the lyric? He went back to the old dock, like sailor, like where all the Navy men hung around.
See if she'll pick me up again. Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's a great song about, like, you're with somebody and you're connecting. I mean, I'm a sap, and I do like that whole, like, you can have one great night with a person, and it can make you think. Like, you're just sitting with this person, and you go, like, you know what? Like, I could be a better person. I could have these chances to be a good person. And I just liked how he tells these quick little parts of the story in every verse, and then he just ended it with, like, had it with a simple twist of fate, which I really like how he did that. And I just like how him and Tony are just, like, playing together. They're so in sync.
Tony who, Alex?
His bassist.
Okay.
His bassist, Tony the Tiger. And after they were done recording, he was like, "Bob, that's great." No.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds
like a tune, you goon.
Hey, that sounds like a tune, you goon.
That's great. That's great. That's great, Bobby. That's great. That's great. That's great, Bobby. Bobby dates my mom, and I'm cool with it because it's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. Bobby kicked my dad out of the house, and it's great. It's great. It's great. I'm Tony the Tiger.
I like your air guitar.
I love it. I mean, what a surprising twist, considering this is, like, pretty much an all acoustic album. To go for an electric, I felt very much.
It was a surprising twist, a simple twist of fate, if you will.
Oh,
yeah. But what do y'all think of this song?
I go ahead, Vanessa. I'm sorry.
Okay. I love this song. It's just, I love how simple and pleasant, and I'm gonna say those words a lot. For this episode. But I will say one thing, because I think it's really funny. He does that whole, he was like, fate, freight, and I hate that. I hate that so much. But I love the song. But, like, I don't like when he goes like,
I loved when he did that.
Me too.
That's one of the things I liked about it.
Simple twist of fate.
I don't mind the, like, down, like, the lower register, him just, like, saying it's a simple twist of fate. But, like, when he was like, fate, like, I'm not a fan of that.
Alex, I agree with you that it is sort of about that. I didn't really pick up the prostitution vibe of it, but I sort of got the idea of, like, you connect with this person and, like, for one night, and, like, it just hits you, like, forever. And you think that there's just this magic there that's life changing, and then they ghost you, essentially. He says this one lyric that I actually really liked, where he's like, "I still believe she was my twin."
Yeah,
which I reference that as, like, we are one and the same.
Yeah,
and I thought, again, Bob Dylan is a Nobel Prize winning writer, so and I wonder.
But I like that whole, like, last lyric he does. Like, people tell me it's a sin to know and feel too much within. I still believe she was my twin, but I lost the ring. She was born in spring, but then. This is what Vanessa hates, but I was born too late.
No. We should move on, because I can't deal with any of the more.
I like how Vanessa was like, I love this song, but also I hate the. All right,
let's go to the next song.
Yeah, you're a big girl now.
Okay.
It's good advice.
Yes.
Can I talk about this one?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so I felt like this one was the most produced on the album. Like,
just sound quality wise, it struck me because it seemed out of place considering like all of the other songs. And then what did I write? I said, and I don't know why I wrote this now in hindsight. I wish I can't listen to it. But it says he feels older in this one. I also wrote the lyrics of this one feel the most whiny, but it's probably just his delivery. So I don't know. Maybe I didn't like this song. I don't remember now.
I think that this song is about him still dealing with like struggling with the ghosting that happened with the girl on Simple Twist of Fate.
Yeah.
But he realizes that it was her decision, and he's trying to force himself to be fine with it. You know, you're a big girl now. You're an adult. You can make your own choices. You know, that's what I got.
Yeah, maybe it should be like you're a big boy now because like he's the one who he's like talking to himself like pull it together, Bob. You're the big boy. You need to get over this. Maybe it should be that, but whatever. I'm cool with that.
Go ahead, Alex.
I do agree that this is one of the best produced songs on the album because you really hear like even like the little tiny. I really dig the drumming on this thing because it's very contained. He's not like doing like crazy like fills or anything, but like he's just like banging on like the side of the snare and he's like hitting like a hi-hat or. So I do agree it's the best one on the album. I didn't even like really think about
well-produced one.
Well-produced one, yeah. I didn't even like think about that. Now, like I heard you say that, Matt, I'm like that kind of makes sense with where the lyrics are going. It could be a continuation of A Simple Twist of Fate, where he's just saying like, you know, we had this great moment, but I can't force you to just leave what you're doing and then just be with me. I gotta be fine with the terms of like it was just one night for you, and you're just gonna move on with the rest of your life. You're an adult. You make your own decisions. So I really like that whole thing, but like I really appreciate how this was produced. It was just fantastic.
Yeah. You guys got anything else to say about this or
Nope.
Let's
because I think there's a lot to talk about with the next song, which is called Idiot Wind.
Yeah.
Alex, this is you said it earlier. This is definitely the most angry song on the album, and I interpret it as like him being upset about like angry, like in that stage of grief, like he's angry about this thing that happened to him on Simple Twist of Fate. But along with that, it kind of makes him realize he's angrier about other things.
Yeah, and like it. I might be interpreting this wrong, but like this might be because he's denied how autobiographical everyone says this album is. I think he's admitted like maybe this is the song that's the most from his life. Like he has admitted like, oh, you know, this album, this is like some like because you know he's Bob Dylan at this point. Well, he's been Bob Dylan his whole life.
At this point, he was Robert Zimmerman before that. But now
what? I'm Bob Dylan? Oh, crap. Oh, my God. I have to have my coffee as Bob Dylan. But no. Get the heck out of my way. That wasn't my one. No. But I have a feeling he might have said this in an interview. I didn't write it down. Like, maybe there's like some things that have been said about him in the press. About like maybe he took a woman to Italy.
Oh, I love that lyric, which also Hootie and the Blowfish famously stole.
Yeah, and they got sued for it.
Wait,
I don't know if we wanted to talk about Hootie and the Blowfish.
Wait, let's go back because I didn't even hear it. What happened?
Hootie and the Blowfish. I forget which song they.
I Only Want to Be With You.
They took a big chunk of. Was it this song?
Yeah. He goes where he said. She inherited $1 million, and when she died, it came to me. I can't help it if I'm lucky.
They took that line and put it in their song. Yeah, they're like, "Oh, I think they'll be cool with it." And Bob Dylan's like, whole like enterprise was like, "Nope, not cool with that." And they sued
but
him.
it's still a lyric in the song. So
yeah,
like, you know, I don't know. Maybe Dylan got some money for it. So
yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, Darius Rucker going over Bob Dylan's house. Like, sorry. But we're not really talking about the song, but I really do feel like he's like, this is the most venting song And like this is kind of, I feel like this is a song about him like complaining, maybe not complaining, but like him like letting out, going like, "Hey, my life's not as glorious as you think it is." You know, it's like,
Right.
you know,
I don't think anyone thought that Bob Dylan's life was glorious, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel like it's interesting because when I listen to this song, he just immediately goes into it, which is so unlike every song that I've ever heard by Bob Dylan. Like every song just sort of seems like I'm leading up to it, and we're gonna get to the lyrics, and we're gonna make you feel moody for about 45 seconds beforehand. And this one, I actually had to stop the YouTube track or whatever and go like, oh wait, is this not the middle of the song? Like I thought that I had zoned out and then came back in like after halfway through.
Yeah.
It also I didn't hear the word idiot until I read the lyrics, because again, enunciation he's really the Laurence Olivier of American music, you know. He just
Wow.
he just that was completely sarcasm, please. He does not
I
enunciate
took
at
it
all.
seriously.
Okay, no.
Is Laurence Olivier? Wow, I'm not even saying his name right. Laurence Olivier.
Alex.
Olivier.
He was a famous British.
I know
actor.
that, but
Okay.
like the rumor that did Laurence Olivier not enunciate well?
No. He enunciated so well. He was so good at it. It didn't land. It wasn't the right audience. I should have been with like real old school theater nerds, and that we're music nerds. And you know me, I cross pollinate, but like
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey, Vanessa.
That sounds
pollinate. That sounds like
a tune, you June.
Okay.
Hey, that sounds like a tune. You get.
Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, 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 buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I am a bee and I go to my flower now. Buzz, 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 buzz. I like to fly. Buzz, 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 buzz. And I'm gonna ride. Buzz, 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 buzz. I'm gonna ride on the high of this pollen in my suit. Do, 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 do. Okay.
I loved it. Fantastic.
Yeah. But
Thanks,
I really do think like, sure, I don't think Bob Dylan ever, like at this point of his career, I don't think he was like in front of like the tabloids going, "Where's Bob Dylan going next?" Like him going out of a limousine going like, "Hey, just let me live my life, man." Like his like shirt half open, you know, with like a posse. But still, like he was getting bothered, especially in that period of his life when he had that motorcycle accident. He did record music, but he really wasn't that into it. He kind of wanted to just be a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
For a while, so he did have fans. Have either of you read his memoir, The Chronicles, Volume 1?
No,
I have not, but
I saw the Dylan No Direction Home, which I also recommend.
I've been meaning to watch that. And I will find my direction to Netflix to watch that movie. Spun that around.
That's great.
But I feel like it was just him talking about his frustration with that time. That's like what I was talking about. Like,
okay,
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to another amazing song on this album. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go.
beautiful.
This song is so beautiful and sad, and like it's made me tear up. Like, times I've listened to it. And there's an interesting story behind this song.
Well, this now makes me question why "Tangled Up in Blue" is your favorite. Like when you compare this song to that song, I don't understand you.
I love both of them, but I like "Tangled Up in Blue" more, mostly because of also its instrumentation. But the "You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go," I think this song is ultimately about finally accepting the end of this relationship, but knowing that the relationship will always have a place in his life. My favorite lyric on this song, and it's one of my favorite Dylan lyrics ever, is I'll see you in the sky above, in the tall grass, and the ones I love.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, you know, that's when I'll see you again someday, is when we're, you know, not on this plane of existence anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you took from those lyrics? I think he was saying like it's that I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places. It's like that sort of vibe. It's like I'll see you when I look at the sky. Like I'll see you in everything. I'll see you when I'm outside looking at the grass or whatever. Well, I forget what. And I'll see you like in our kids, or I'll see you in other people. Or if someone tells a joke that I really like, I'll hear you laughing at it. Like that's sort of what I heard.
That shows you how much this woman had an effect on him. I did read on one of the sources I did for this album, like it's rumored that this song is about Ellen Bernstein from Columbia. She was an HR executive, and like when things between Bob and his wife at the time, Sarah, weren't going well, he like moved into this like farm in Minnesota, I believe, and she was like even saying in an interview, like, you know, like the lyric, particularly, I was right on it too. Crap. It's like, I'll look for you in old Honolulu, San Francisco, Ashtabula. I can't even pronounce that word. These are all like places, like she grew up in Ashtabula. Yeah, that she was born there. So really like.
The chick from Colombia, not his wife?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm really mad. If you're telling me it's not about his wife, now I'm like upset.
No, I don't like he said, like Alex said earlier, this song, he doesn't necessarily, Dylan doesn't say that this is an autobiographical album. I just sort of take what I interpret from it, you know, and like I don't know if it's about somebody real, and me ultimately I don't care. Yeah. I like if it's like about something real or something specific, I sort of like interpret it how the thing I love about Dylan is that you can interpret his music and his lyrics in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Here's the thing. This is where I have two schools of thought on this. If someone is writing a song about nothing, it's just like what they're feeling, and it's just you know, something that they imagined and they wrote a song about it, that's fine. I'm fine with that. And if they write a song that is autobiographical, that is also fine. But if this whole time I thought that it was about his wife, and they sort of talk a lot about it being about his wife, and then this turns out to be like about a mistress, that kind of hurts. It makes me not like them as much. But at the same time, like also I think what's great is that artists mess up and then they document that process, and we get the benefit of enjoying the work and the art that comes from them screwing up their lives.
Vanessa, do you have more specific thoughts on You're Gonna Leave Me Lonesome When You Go?
I was gonna say it's more joyful and humorous than like the other songs that I got a similar vibe from. Like to me, Shelter from the Storm, this, and Simple Twist of Fate are all very similar, except this one is like I don't want to say it's upbeat because it's not, but it's more joyful than the other ones. And I was gonna say this is a great ending song, if you know what that means.
It's the first it's the ending to the first side of the album.
Yeah.
Also, one more real quick tidbit about this song. There is a great cover that is done by Miley Cyrus that you guys could go and check out.
I listened to it. I wasn't as much of a fan. I kind of like the more bare bones version of this song.
Okay, so I actually did a lot of research on this because I was curious. Because did you know that he wrote All Along the Watchtower?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry, now I'm feeling like an idiot.
No.
I had no idea. I always thought that Jimmy wrote that. I just didn't know that. Maybe I guess he wrote all of the guitar.
Did you know? Did you know that the Mr. Tambourine Man is a Bob Dylan song?
I knew that. I knew that.
The Birds did cover of it. Yeah.
Hey,
now that I think about
voice.
it, I do like the Birds version more. Sorry.
Hey guys, hold on. Let me Disembodied Voice. What do you think of that?
I love it.
There you go. Thank you, Disembodied Voice. All right.
That was
so-
probably the best take on that song. But yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you completely, Vanessa. Just again, this song, the songs that really reel me in on this album are the more bare bones songs.
I can
And like
see
this, and this is just because he doesn't need the full band to convey these emotions that he has. And this is just this is just one story. It could not be about that. Ellen could have just been like, "Oh my God, it's totally about me." But some of the things she says really reminds me of what I really love about this album is just like this song and some of the other ones that I really dig about is just how bare bones it is and just how reflective about just like how he had this moment with this person and it was beautiful and it ended, but the memories will always be there. You get that in the lyrics of the song and how like specific they were of like the locations where she is and like the things they did. I really appreciate that. Like it just shows that like this person had such a profound effect on him that it was just like a movie in his head. He could remember it so well and so vividly, and he put it so well in this song.
It's a beautiful song. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. All right, that's halfway through the album, so you guys know what that means.
Hey, big boy. We are a production of Arcade Comedy Theater. And, everybody's got to serve somebody, and everybody's got to donate to somebody, so you might as well donate to the arcade. Don't be a Rolling Stone, be a committed individual, and give your money to the arcade, because all of these performers do this for free. And we're gonna get the theater open. That's right. Yeah, and it ain't me, babe. It ain't me who's gonna give the money, but it sure as heck better be you. That's right. Ooh. What? Ooh, I want you to make me feel my love. I want to make you feel my love. And I want you to say that because you're giving the money to the arcade. And hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, please think about the arcade because it is a 413C.
What Vanessa Bob Dylan St. Clair is trying to say is please donate to the Arcade Comedy Theater. It provides so much good in the world.
Zabba dabba doo, Matt. You are right.
You know what, Matt? I don't know why you had to say that because I got it clearly from what Vanessa Bob Dylan St. Clair just said.
Obviously. I mean, I'm sorry, I missed it. Did I miss Bob? Bob?
Yeah, he's right here. It looked like Bob was in your house.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was pretty amazing.
What? I can't believe I missed him. Oh.
I know. Nobel Prize winning writer Bob Dylan
wrote a 17-minute song about the death of John F. Kennedy.
He did that recently.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But enough about John F. Kennedy. Let's get...
Go ahead, Alex.
Sorry. Let's get to the second part of Blood on the Tracks with a great song, Meet Me in the Morning. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing about this song. It's when listening back to this album multiple times to get ready for this, I was reminded that this is one of the songs off the album. Like, this is the song off the album that I don't see myself going back to as much. And then as I'm reading it, it's not a big favorite of a lot of Bob Dylan fans. This isn't like a big song of his, and he's only played it live once with Jack White.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that this song to me felt very bluesy. It felt like in the style of like a Randy Newman or a Harry Nilsson. It was really interesting. And you know me, I love Harry. Like it sounded very different from his style. It sounded so weird on this album to me because it didn't match anything. But also, I don't understand a word that he's saying, but when is that not the case? But then what I thought was interesting was like this kind of reminded me. It was like maybe he had written this song before, like he had because he was, you know, when he first released Bob Dylan, and then what was the second album he did? Was it like the Ramblin' Bob Dylan or something?
Freewheelin' Bob Dylan.
Freewheelin'. Okay, sorry.
Freewheelin'. Okay.
Exactly. And anyway, so when he did, like, his first several albums were very folksy, bare bones.
It's so stupid. I'm so proud that I said that.
I just love how just utterly dismissive Vanessa was about it. Like, right.
I'm so sorry.
That's so creative.
I'm sorry,
okay,
guys.
but what were you saying?
No,
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. So basically, like when he first was getting started, when he first released his first several albums, they were all very bluesy, or what am I saying? They're folksy. They had very bare bones. They were like most of this album. And then he sort of like tried to transition into like harder rock sounds. And there's a bunch of clips of him getting like booed. And there's
Royal Albert Hall, I think. That was a famous concert.
And people were really upset. And what's interesting is like this album was his return to folk music. Like this album was what now they're saying is quintessentially him. But this was after a long period of him sort of like not wanting to be the protest song guy, not wanting to be the voice of a generation. I mean, he really didn't like all of those accolades and those those titles were sort of like foisted. Is that a word? Foisted?
I think so. I
think so.
Let's just make it up. Let's make our own Goons dictionary.
It was kind of like foisted upon him.
Yes, that's the word. That's the word.
And so he sort of like left that, and it feels like this song was written during those other periods, like maybe in like 67. And then he just decided to record it now. Because of the arrangement. That's how it feels to me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the lyrics are kind of don't make sense. Like,
totally.
I agree with you, definitely, Vanessa. This is definitely a blues riff. Like, this is the blues, but it's not. For people who haven't heard the song, I need to point out that it's not with like electric guitars. It's still like an acoustic blues riff. Like, I actually really love this song. It's
and I don't hate it either.
I feel that it's a song about now he's found a new love, and he's just really excited about it after the heartbreak of the last girl on Simple Twist of Fate. Which now, the more I think about it, like Simple Twist of Fate might be the most important song to the narrative of this album. But anyway, that's beside the point. I think that I feel like this is the start of what I said in the beginning of like the first side is about the heartbreak, and now this is about kind of finding love again. So
totally.
Yeah. I definitely need to sit with this song more because it's just it's a little different than what we've been like when you first hear this album. You go like, then you hear this like little like bluesy acoustic song, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, a little different. And so I definitely need to sit with this song a little bit more. But
okay, let's move on to the next one. Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts.
Longest song on the album, almost 9 minutes.
Mm-hmm. This was the weirdest one. Like, why was this song the longest? I could have had so much more of A Simple Twist of Fate. I could have had like 5 more minutes of Shelter from the Storm. And then this one is weird. Like, I sometimes think that very artistic people do sort of have like a trolley sense to them. And I feel like that's him on this song. Just like musically, it's very like, I wrote upbeat, fast paced, but the lyrics are very serious, which I think is one of my favorite qualities. There's a song that, Mark Anthony and J-Lo did together.
Nice comparison.
Okay.
When they did their Blood on the Tracks.
Okay, chill out. It's this beautiful song that when it was released in English is like so Or wait, no. It's both versions are in Spanish. What am I saying? But the one version is like this ballad, this beautiful. And from the music video, what I can gather and from Google Translate is that basically this man has died and he wants his wife to move on, and she's like, no, like I still love you. And the song is called No Me Ames, and he's like, don't love me, like no me. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna sing it. But anyway, so then they put out this like I think it's like a rumba version. They put out like a dance mix of it, and the lyrics are so depressing, but it has like this nice little like beat behind it.
Getcha.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what he did with this, except obviously it's not a samba remix, but you know, it's I'm not
Still
sure.
young.
I liked his Hanging Man was drunk though. Like every time he talked about the Hanging Man, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I think it's fun.
I think this is like the song, in my opinion, it's just like a little detour. It's just him doing like a little like fun little quick little story, like a little Western story. He kind of did the same thing in Desire, which I really like that album. Mr. Matthew Grant is not a big fan of that album, but yeah, I'm just gonna talk about Matt like he's not here, Mr. Matt.
Well, can I give my opinion about this song?
This feels like his version of Rocky Raccoon.
It's like a quick little Western story of these three characters.
Well, I completely disagree with you guys. I think that this song is about so he finds this new love, and like he starts hanging out with her friends and becomes their friends and stuff like that. And like at first it's great, it's wonderful, and then like drama starts to infiltrate this friend group where like let me see suddenly that like includes like affairs and, you know, trigger warning, suicide attempts, and it's just but there's also an interesting note, because I was like, what does he mean by the Jack of Hearts? And I looked it up, and the Jack of Hearts, apparently the Jack of Hearts represents a young man looking for someone to start a relationship, or it could either be a friend or a suitor, but it also represents the value of a good friend to talk to about relationship issues, which I thought was very fascinating and actually grew my my love of the song, which I really do love this song. It's really long, but you know, I think it's great. So
I mean, I like that he like.
No, it's okay. I like this song. I don't want to say that I don't like it. It's just like humorous to me in terms of like the musicality of it. With that being said, I question like if looking up something about the song makes you like it more, then do you really like the song, or do you really like the story behind the song?
Well, I liked it enough to be able to be willing to look into it.
Yeah.
So,
which I'll admit, I did not look into it. I looked more into like the more like bare bones songs. So I just really like this song musically, and you know, and Matt, you made me come to truth for something to this day. I need to look more into other songs. Just
you say that a lot. So let's go.
Just because it wasn't bare bones doesn't mean I can't look it up. So Matt, you brought something out in me today.
Let's move on. Let's go to the next one. If you see her, say hello. This song made me really emotional. It's about someone who I think it's about someone in this friend circle who became acquainted with the girl on Simple Twist of Fate, and he's, you know, and even though he remembers that night that she left so vividly, he's still open to having this person in their life, and it's heart-wrenching. Like sorry, that was so not helpful, Matt. I cut you off and then said this song. No, but I agree with you. Like, it is so heart-wrenching. Did you guys ever see La La Land? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So it is. Wait, who said no? Which one?
I've never seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it.
So the idea, you have to watch it. You would love it. The idea of the movie is that and we were talking about this earlier with Simple Twist of Fate, how you come into people's life for, you know, a season, a reason, or a lifetime or whatever. But you guys were talking about like one night. I think that this song is like a deeper connection than One Night, but it is. I love the line when he says like, "I won't stand in her way." Like I was like, good for you, Bob Dylan. Like, good for you. You are first wave. People need to follow in your footsteps.
I gotta say, I apologize, but I have to say,
no, say it.
I love the lyric where he says like, if you kiss her for me.
Yeah.
Just once or something like that. Like, oh my, wow.
And also like the ending of that verse, though the bitter taste still lingers on from the night I tried to make her stay.
Oh,
that was my one. Sorry. That was my one.
This song it just made me feel very introspective, and like really it was so beautiful, and it hurt. Like this one hurt so good, but I felt like there's a lot of people in my life that I've had to, I think I wanted something deeper with them, whether it was a friendship or a partner or whatever, and it didn't work out, and I wanted it to work out, and it's so hard to be like, no, you go.
We've all had that.
It was just so, I don't know, this song, even though this song was just so beautiful to me, I loved it.
Yeah, and also just, I know we're going to move on, but like the messaging of this song, is great, but also just in an instrumentation opinion, just a little bit of organ. The little bit of organ serves the song so well.
It really adds to like the sorrow.
The sorrow, yeah.
Now I'll have to listen to it again because now I'm blanking. But
yeah, I was listening to like a really good remastered version of this last night in bed, but like you really get.
Once again, Vanessa is so dismissive.
No, that's not dismissive. I'm just curious. Whatever.
Yeah, I was just being weird. But just like, you can really hear the instruments even better. And just a little bit of organ, wasn't like doing any like improvising or anything, but it really, the simplicity, I can't say the word. The simplicity. Yes, of that organ really added to what Matt was saying.
Okay, let's go on to a song I know all three of us love.
Yes.
Shelter from the Storm.
Oh my God. I love this song. Okay, wait, the first thing I heard when I heard this song is I was like, I know this song. And I was racking my brain about like, where do I know this song from?
I think I know what you're going to say.
And then
let's all say it together. 1, 2, 3,
Maguire.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it was just the perfect like ending song. And you know what's funny is before I said like I knew the song, I was like, this is the perfect end song. I can picture this being like the perfect sum up. When I first heard it, I thought it was actually from the movie with Kate Hudson. She won the Golden Globe. You know, she's
Almost Famous.
Almost Famous. I thought that this
another
was
Cameron Crowe movie.
Oh, was that
the same director who did Jerry Maguire?
Wait, he made Jerry Maguire too?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
I'm glad you brought up Jerry Maguire because now after listening to this album, there's so many parallels to this album to Jerry Maguire. Like in the beginning, he had the horrible woman who left him abruptly, and then he found comfort and love in this other woman. And then I'll talk about this later on Simple Twist of Fate. They had like their little falling out, but then he ultimately kept going back. He ultimately went back to her, and if I can, I'll just say what I feel about it.
Yeah, say it.
Say it.
This song is about the new love who comforts him after the things that make him depressed and the wrongs that he has committed, including being upset about the old love when he heard about it from the friend from the last song.
Yeah.
Some of the wrongs he committed to the new love with like gambling, and he also talks about having a regretful affair, but she always comforted him and gave him love. Come in, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Like it's just beautiful.
Imagery, it was so great, and it's weird because with the opposite with Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts, where the lyrics were very abrasive on this.
Yeah.
But the actual sound was very peaceful. And I feel like the music was her essence and the lyrics were basically the show that he was in his life. And I don't know.
There's your one per episode.
Oh no!
The best ones are ones you don't plan, but
Okay.
yeah. But I can't. This song does make me feel. I mean, I
Feel what?
at the ending of Jerry Maguire, it does really like tie that movie so well together because it's just everything is resolved. They're walking in the park. They're happy. They're a happy family.
They're holding the hands with the kid. Yeah.
Jonathan Lipnicki, his head weighs 8 pounds, and
have you seen that dude now? Oh my
he's
god,
jacked. But
he's really
this show's not
drunk.
about him. This show's not about him.
You're right.
He's a Jack of Hearts. But like a lyric I really like here, and it's kind of purveying the theme we're talking about is like not a word was spoken between us. There was little risk involved. It's kind of just saying that like
when blackness was a virtue. Oh God.
Yeah, it's just he's found this right person for him. He's just completely comfortable. He doesn't have to put in an act. He doesn't have to try super hard. He can just be himself, and she's there for him, and she will provide. I mean, she doesn't have to do all the providing. You know, he has to work too. It's not a one-way street with this relationship, but just she will provide him comfort, and he will do the same for her.
Yeah, it's a beautiful love song, like really. And
Have you listened to the live version of it?
No.
From where?
Oh, it's like the second clip on YouTube. I listened to the live version. Also, not as good. I shouldn't have brought it up because it's not great. Because what's weird?
Here's the thing that I hate.
Okay, no. I love this song, but you know what's weird is seeing the live version made me like question like Billie Eilish. You'll see the connection. And I've never seen Billie Eilish perform live, and both her and Bob Dylan have this like, I'm gonna whisper, and my song is very quiet, and we're gonna be peaceful. And then I wonder how they do that in front of like a crowd of thousands of people. You know, like I don't know how they managed to make that happen.
There's something to be said about speaking quietly so that people will listen closer. So,
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm just so what he did was he sort of like brought in. He had a huge band. I mean, obviously because he's doing a live concert, but they really it's a whole different sound. They have like electric guitars. It's very much like more rock and roll version of it, and I actually prefer the studio, very relaxed, peaceful one.
Okay. Hey, disembodied voice. What do you think about that?
I love it.
Okay.
Good.
So let's. I mean, I could talk about Shelter from the Storm for a long time, but let's move on to Buckets of Rain, which closes the album.
Yeah.
This song is about, even though he went through all that trauma, he realizes and how grateful he is that he has this new love in his life. I love the lyric where he talks about she is the bucket of moonbeams in his hands.
Yeah.
He finally is content and happy, and he is finally as content and as happy as he can allow himself to be. So it's sort of like he's never going to be fully there, but this is the best it can get for him.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful way to close the album, because he went from just being destroyed and heartbroken to finally at somewhat of peace.
What's interesting is I feel like Shelter from the Storm was like the peaceful place. Like it was sort of went back to neutral. Like if we're looking at like on a numerical scale, you would say like, oh well, if you see her say hello is like a -1, and then Lily Rosemary and Jack of Hearts is like a negative. You know what I mean? I think Shelter from the Storm is when he finally gets back to 0 and he's finally like neutral. And then I think Buckets of Rain is like he's jumping up to now like 3 or 4. Like this one feels almost humorous. This one feels sweet and like I've said joyful a lot, but you know what I mean? Like this one feels like more joyful than Shelter, which felt like we're finally at a place where we can say how we feel and I appreciate you. And now Buckets of Rain is like, now I'm enjoying you. Now we're not just saving each other from ourselves, but we're enjoying this partnership and this relationship. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and it also just showing, like, you know, like he brings out this person he's with brings out all these different sides to him, like his like loving side and also his like, you know, his bad sides, like, you know, but he loves everything that this relationship provides for him, you know. And this song did have to, like, I had to warm up to this song because there was a time where I thought like, Shelter from the Storm should have ended this album. I was
Same.
Yeah, but then like the more and more I listened to it, and I was listening to it in my car, I kind of went like, this song really like, it's kind of just a good button for the album. It really grew on me where I go like, it's just him. He's the main narrator. He's the storyteller. It's just him, and Tony's doing his thing behind him on the bass. I didn't even mean to be funny when I said that, but it's just, it's just a good wrap up of what he's been talking about and what he is in this new stage of a relationship he's in. So I really do like. It took some time, but now I can't. Like now, I really believe like, you know, this is a good button on the album.
Yes,
I agree.
This is a very good button on the album, and
Matt, that sounds like a tune, you goon.
Okay,
It sounds like a good button.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. Look at all these buttons to press. Boop, 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 boop. Aren't you all impressed? Boop, 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 boop. So many buttons to press. What one does this do? Oh no, the dam has exploded. What does this one do? Oh no, a kid fell off his bike. Oh no, my parents got a divorce.
What?
Sorry,
How do we go
buttons
from
are
a
these?
dam breaking to a kid?
They're just buttons, I guess.
Okay.
I can see a dam breaking, but like, how can a button make a kid fall off a bike?
It's I don't know. It's a magic.
Maybe it ruptured a tectonic plate
I
or
don't know.
something. And
Yeah.
I
then
don't know.
I can see it. I can see
It's a thinker.
It's a
but
thinker.
Yeah.
All this Dylan talk is making me think of.
what I was gonna say is overall, like, are we done with the song? Can we like talk about our overall thoughts?
Oh yeah, let's go to our final thoughts.
Okay.
Let's Vanessa.
So what I was gonna say is this.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Disembodied voice. What do you think about that? All right. There you go. Okay. Wait.
All right.
It's four of us wrapping it up.
So this, the only thing I really knew about Bob Dylan before this was he was a great songwriter, and I always loved like Knocking on Heaven's Door and All Along the Watchtower, and not knowing that it was him, and like a Rolling Stone. But from this, I gained such an appreciation for like his style of music. I usually like very overproduced, really absurdly extravagant things, and so this really hit me. I mean, I listened to this the week. I mean, this will be airing in a couple weeks, but we're recording this the day after things shut down, like the theater shut down and pretty much everything shut down. And so I was feeling all kinds of different ways, and this was a really soothing album for me to listen to, and I didn't expect it to be. And it was. And so I just have such an appreciation for him now. And looking up, I tried to mention this earlier, but looking up like how many people have done covers of his music is astounding. Like literally every single artist. Elvis did covers to Adele, to Garth Brooks, to like Waylon Jennings, like pretty much every artist that you can think of has done at
least experimented with a Dylan cover of some I mean but like we could literally do a whole episode about Dylan covers, you know. But Vanessa,
I'm just saying that I loved this album because it really opened up a new artist to me that I didn't think, you know, it was just three friends learning about music one album at a time. I feel like I discovered a whole new music that I want to listen to. So this was exciting. Amazing. Thanks for picking this, Alex.
Okay, what's your rating?
Oh, I give it 5 out of 5. Yes, 5 out of 5.
Oh, Bob
mine,
Dylan's back.
That's what I give it.
Matt, what's your critique? What's your final words?
I've listened to this album for years. It was always my favorite Dylan album. But I listened to it mostly because of my love of the actual music. And now sitting down and realizing and listening to the lyrics and trying to understand what he was trying to accomplish on it, it brought more to it to me than was there for what I thought about it for a long time. And I mean, there are times where like it's devastating, and there are times where it's really joyful, and it's so beautifully human. Like I think like, you know, we can like Vanessa said, like I can sort of like get into like the high production stuff and like appreciate that. But I loved its simple instrumentation because it was just about presenting the humanity of it all. And I mean, I think it's a masterpiece. I really do. I give it 5 motorcycle accidents out of 5.
What a
Really
psycho.
killed the beautiful words you said about that.
What a psycho thing to say.
Wow.
Get out of here.
We're going to have a Goons business meeting after this.
Okay, Alex, what are your thoughts?
Wow, how can I follow up that? But I kind of echoing off a little bit of what Matt said. Like, I mean, I've heard about Bob Dylan, you know, obviously because he's a humongous name in music. And it took me a couple years to like finally get into him. And then like after a while and many years later, I kind of realized that he's an artist that I keep wanting to go back to. And even from the beginning, when I really wasn't listening to the lyrics, there's something about this album that really like brought me in, just how well it was written. And I kept coming back to this album more and more and more. And then, like, of course, this album gets brought up a lot, and some people will go like, "Oh, that's your favorite Dylan album," like music snobs might say. But there's a reason why it's so beloved. Like, this is his 15th album, and for him to like open himself up at that point in his life, and even if he denies it, there's still a whole lot of heart that he put into this and a whole lot of passion. And especially even talking now, it makes me appreciate the album even more and wanting to read the lyrics more and read more into what they were trying to do, what he was trying to say, especially with Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. And showing that he's not just like every songwriter. He's one of the best. And I am always appreciative of people who put
Nobel Prize winning writer, Bob Dylan.
Nobel Prize winning. Don't you forget it.
I think he won like 10 Grammys and was
I
nominated
think this is my turn to talk.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. He won 10 Grammys. That's great. Okay,
Alex,
we have an episode to do here, but I really appreciate that he put a lot of himself into it, even though he is very adamant at not admitting that. But there's just something beautiful about this, and this is just an album I will keep revisiting for the rest of my life. So with that, I am going to give it 5 out of 5 loving moments.
Aww. That's a counterbalance to the horrible thing I said earlier.
I'm sorry that with the whole like, hey, this is my turn to talk. You brought up good.
No. We were being rude. You're right.
We were just talking. But anyway, I'm feeling good about though.
Yeah. We all loved this album so much, and you know, I get that Dylan might be a different kind of pill to swallow, but he's worth it. Trust me. So before we go, I just want to say, please donate to the Arcade Comedy Theater. That's my one swear. And again, like, it's a nonprofit, and it's just a wonderful place. And then when we reopen, which is soon, come see a show. Come see Alex and I. And then when Vanessa's in town, come see her too. And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
it was a great time.
Yes. So this has been
Talking
Tunes with these
Few Goons. We'll work on that.
I was standing on the side of the road talking all these tunes. Vanessa over the west coast, Lord, talking tunes with these few goons. With these few